You wouldn't have caught me being the one. No. Whoops. I guess I'm on the air. Hello and welcome to Fresh Perspectives. My name is Gail. And today on my program, I have a couple of very kind and caring people with me, and they have brought a couple of companion animals. They are from the Little Angels Animal Sanctuary. It's Jena Krauth there with the baby kitten, and with the one-year-old cat, we have Paula Briggs. Thank you for coming on, girls.
Thanks for having us.
Would you like to introduce your companion animals that are with you?
This is Samantha. She is one of 7 siblings. Her mama had 7 babies. She had 5 Siamese and 2 tabbies. So just her and her brother are the only ones left that have not been adopted.
Are they both tabbies?
The one that's left is a Siamese, and then she's the other one.
Oh, okay. So this kitten, the Siamese kitten, is actually half Siamese then?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And who do you have?
This is Petunia. Petunia's about 1 year old. She came to us from a kill shelter in Georgia. She has been with us since February. She's been with us a long time. She was very shy at first, and that's why a lot of the animals in the South, they're so overrun with feral cats that they euthanize them because they don't have space. And when we have space, we will take some of the animals from their shelter to save their lives. But she was very scared of humans at first. But she's been living in my home with me, and now she's very cuddly and wants attention. But she's ready for her own family. She walks on a harness too.
Oh yeah, that is a plus, you know.
Most cats don't do that, but she tolerates it pretty well.
Yeah, all of the cats that we have had have literally gone for walks with us without a harness and a leash.
Wow,
so of course we just, fortunately we have a really big piece of property that we live on, like 100 acres. Mm-hmm. So we can go for walks without taking them out on the road. And, a lot of people, this is really funny too, a lot of people will, when I'm getting acquainted with a person, they'll start telling me a story about how unique they think their cat is because their cat goes along with them when they go for walks. And I'm always saying, well, they think there's something special, like their cat's actually smarter than other cats. And I'll explain to them, well, that is normal cat behavior for cats to go for walks with the people that they live with. Okay, now, what caused the two of you to decide to start this animal rescue that you have?
Well, we started in 2008.
Uh-huh.
We started by rescuing bunnies and guinea pigs. I went to an auction one day. It was my first time there, and a friend of mine was with me, and there was 2 guys behind us talking about how they were going to eat the rabbit that was being sold. And I was just...
This was an auction,
yes,
did you say?
Yes,
uh-huh.
And I was just mortified, so I bought the rabbit. And I'm like, now what do I do with this rabbit? I had no idea what to do. And
you never had a rabbit before?
No, but I took the rabbit to my vet, and she neutered him, and I put him up on Pet Finder, which is a pet adoption site, and someone from Texas wanted him. They flew up on an airplane, and they took that rabbit. And I said, if I can save one bunny, I can save more. So it kind of took off from there. And then about 4 years ago, I met Jena when she adopted a bunny from us. And then last year,
you didn't know each other before that?
Last year
she started this without me.
I had some bottle baby kittens and I needed help, and she found me on Facebook. She said, I'll help you, and we just have been together ever since.
Yep.
So we hit it off, we're best friends, and we spend all our time together, and we both love kitties.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So you each keep some of the animals in your own home. And one of you is in Lakewood, and one of you is near Mayville.
Yes.
And people, well, how can people contact you if they want to adopt? You're not doing other animals anymore.
No, we only do kitties now.
Yeah, okay.
The best way is we are on Facebook. Messaging us through Messenger on Facebook is a really good way to get a hold of us. Also on Facebook, both of our phone numbers are on there, so they can contact
call.
either one of us. And we obviously talk to each other frequently, and we're like, can you call so and so, whatever. We publicize our events. We normally do at least one adoption event a weekend, and that's also on our page, so people can show
Every
up there.
weekend you do an adoption event?
Yeah, it's nothing major like this. Tomorrow we will be at Tractor Supply.
Oh, okay. Which Tractor
The one in
Supply?
Lakewood.
The one in
Yep,
Lakewood.
we'll be there
okay.
from 1 until at least 5. Last week, for instance, we did an event at the Chautauqua Mall, which was wonderful. We had a really nice space that they allowed us to rent. So the best way is just either message us or call us is the best way. And we just set up an appropriate time for you to come by. And if it's a kitty that's with me, they come to my location. If it's a kitty that's with Paula, and we just work it out that way.
We take appointments,
Yeah.
basically. We don't have open hours, but we will take appointments. And we'll work around people's schedule.
Yeah.
We want our kitties to get
Okay.
home.
Sometimes
so-
if we even get calls from like the Buffalo area, we try to, if we will even meet you halfway. Sometimes if you're really sincere about adopting, we'll go out of our way if it's going to get one of these babies adopted. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
You're a special people. Okay, so it was basically guineas and pigs and rabbits that you took in, and now you're only accepting cats.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you help feral cats? I've heard that you help feral cats. In fact, somebody that lives very close to me needed your help one day recently. So tell us about how you do that.
We will go out and trap feral cats. We get them fixed, we get their vaccines, and we release them back to where they were. When we find kittens that are under 8 weeks old, we'll take the kittens and rehabilitate them. Most feral kittens can be converted into companion
Because they're
friendly
so
kitties.
young.
Yes.
That temperament
Okay.
hasn't been
If they're
fully
already
established.
over 8 weeks old, sometimes we can convert them, but usually not.
Oh,
So what we
okay.
do is when our vet fixes them while they're under anesthesia, he tips their ear, and that is a universal symbol. If you see a cat with a tip out of their left ear, it means that cat has been neutered.
Oh.
So you don't.
okay.
If you trap a cat with a tipped ear, just let it go.
Let 'em go.
Okay, that means there's a little notchy.
They actually take the tip right off.
like right off.
Just like straight across the top.
straight
Yeah,
across.
But like she
We
said,
don't
it's under
have-
anesthesia.
I was trying to
Okay.
see if we have any
Actually,
Clayton, but you can't see
really
it.
see Clayton's ear that well.
Sometimes when we have a kitten that we're not sure if we're going to be able to convert, since we're getting them fixed, we have them tip them.
Yeah.
It's not going to affect their health or anything.
Okay.
I think it's kind of
And they
endearing.
recover fairly quickly
Yes.
from it, do
Oh yeah,
they?
it's kind of like you just kind of cauterize it, and it just kind of scabs up, and just the ends will just fall off. Yeah.
Okay.
And we do when we do help the community with the, TVNR, which is Trap Neuter Vet Return.
Right.
They obviously do have to help us financially. We certainly can't afford to pay for all of those spay and neuters on our own. So
Oh, okay. So if it's somebody who the feral cat is hanging around
Yep.
their house, they pay for it.
We ask them to pay for it. But we also have other programs. We can help them raise money.
Right.
We have canned donation centers set up. We're working on a street in Jamestown right now, Crossman Street. There's over 100 cats there, and the gentlemen that are feeding them, they have went to the other neighbors and asked for donations to help pay for it, and they return their cans to the redemption center, and all that money goes towards that project.
Yeah.
So right now we're working in the village of Sherman also.
Okay.
And anyone in Sherman that donates to the village project, that will go towards their cats. So we
Okay.
can we'll help people get donations,
Yes.
but we don't get grants. It's just
Right.
her and I. And with all the cats, we don't have time to go sit at stores and ask for money. So we basically
Okay.
put donation jars up for them, and we'll help them as much as we can.
Okay. Now you do some work with Thrifty Kitty people from Westfield. Tell us what you do with them.
Well, it's sort of just started. We've known them for a long time. She started out by fostering
Yeah.
for them,
Yeah.
and I started out from adopting from them several years ago. And we've just got to know them, and they're wonderful ladies. And we they do a lot of trapping. We've helped them with some of their trapped cats. And what we've done this year is they don't want to take a lot of little kittens. It's a lot of work. And you know, they're all just a little bit older than Jena and I, and they don't want to chase the kittens around. So we offered to take the kittens and then help them out that way.
Oh, okay. So they're not having kittens at the Thrifty
They
Kitty.
do have some. They just don't have the amount they used to have.
Oh, I see.
They're kind of
Okay.
slowing down a little, but we're hoping to develop a good partnership with them. Just to help the cats in the area. They're amazing ladies, and we just have the greatest respect for them. Both of us. When we started the cats, it was like we have such great admiration for you guys and all you do, and then they say the same thing to us, and we're like, but you're our heroes, you know.
Yeah, their setup is wonderful.
Yes.
I mean, their kennels, shall we say, are just beautiful, like 3-layered kennels.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
they're not stuck in a metal cage. It's a wonderful setup they have there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
much how kind of, we wanted to emulate what we did, so.
Well, I went over there 3.5 years ago and adopted 2 cats from them. And ever since then, I've been dropping in to the thrift store a lot. I'm afraid to go upstairs where the cats are because I'd want to adopt.
Right.
I'd keep finding ones, and that would not work well. But anyways, I go in there and I look around and look for things, and I wind up finding things like I had a whole bunch of 2 really huge boxes of family pictures that my mother had, and I wound up finding all of the photograph albums I needed in there. Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, I spent the last 2 winters putting family pictures and photograph
And
albums.
it's something I enjoy doing as well. I like photo albums and things like that. I just don't have a lot of time to do it.
Yeah.
And I like thrift stores. I go in there at least once a week. I'm addicted to thrift stores.
She is
Oh,
quite
the Thrifty Kitty you go in?
Yes, I go in. I like buying old-fashioned clothes, and I mean, not really old-fashioned, but just neat things that other people don't have. And you can't go to a store and buy it. I want stuff that is out of style because I don't want other people to be wearing the same clothes as me. So I love thrift stores.
Okay. Yeah, I do too. I really do. And quite often thrift stores are actually helping somebody.
Yeah, some organization.
There's something about that.
Goes along with the reduce, reuse, recycle.
Right. Now, you've got some pictures, Paula. Next to you, next to Paula, there are some pictures. Now, these are cats.
Yep, these kitties all have the feline immunodeficiency virus, which is very similar to the human AIDS virus. We cannot catch it from them, and pardon me for speaking to things that people already know about, but humans cannot catch it from them. It's very difficult for cats to transmit it to one another. You have to do a pretty significant bite that draws blood for it to really happen. It's not transmitted through feces or saliva or anything like that. Most of these kitties live perfectly healthy, normal lives. For their safety, though, they do have their very own large room within the rescue that is just for them. But we used to do events that people were leery about us bringing the FIVs into. Even though they were in a kennel, we obviously respected their stand on that. So we normally just bring this poster with us everywhere so people can at least see them. It's an opportunity to just explain the virus a little bit. These guys, all of them except for Clay up in the corner, they all came from, I don't know if it was the exact same kill shelter as Petunia. They were scheduled to be euthanized simply because they had FIV, which is just a shame because there's nothing wrong with them at all. And just so many people just don't understand the illness. Oftentimes people go in to see the kitties, and then as soon as they find out they have FIV, they throw their hands up and walk away, and it's so sad because there's nothing wrong with them at all. There's nothing wrong with them. So
well, for a really long time, I mean, a really long time, the Thrifty Kitty had a cat named Butterscotch that they kept in the thrift store because she couldn't be upstairs with the other cats.
Right.
And I recently found out that, and they didn't think, she'd ever get adopted. Well, I recently found out that somebody did adopt her, so so that was
awesome.
really nice.
They can be, I mean, there's nothing different about them.
No.
And they don't have a lot of extra vet bills. Maybe the vets do recommend that if they have FIV, you get them checked twice a year instead of once a year. And they live out just as many years as a regular cat.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
I didn't
biggest
know
problem
that.
that they encounter sometimes is they get the stomatitis. They get a mouth infection.
Oh.
For some reason, it seems very common in kitties afflicted with FIV. So far, none of these guys have it. But I've always had a very soft spot for the FIVs. When I first started getting into rescuing, I would bring home the FIVs that were old and starting to decline. I would bring them into my home just to give them palliative care.
I see.
As they were
Well,
leaving,
you are a nurse anyway,
Yes.
aren't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were mentioning that to me earlier. So you probably know something, even though they're not humans.
It definitely helps. And Paula
know
was a
something.
paramedic, so definitely
Oh,
our
really?
medical backgrounds have been.
Would that be the Chautauqua? Or?
I worked at Rural Metro in Buffalo.
You
I
used to live in Buffalo.
No, I drove up there. Yeah, I drove up there to work.
Oh my gosh.
I really loved my job.
Wow, I guess so.
But it's been an asset though, just having our knowledge base just has
Right.
been really helpful with taking care of the kitties.
We can do some of our own vaccines. Some things like that someone without that experience would probably not want to do.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And it does save us money.
Yes.
I mean, we have to be careful because you can't just.
Yeah,
you
we
still
by
need
no
vet
means are
care.
we're not veterinary
But
professionals, and we know that. But
there's certain vaccines that owners are allowed to, humans are allowed to give to their
Yeah.
own animals.
And we have very good relationships with our veterinary professionals, and they do trust us. So it's really, really good that we have the rapport we do with them. It's been very helpful.
We wouldn't be able to do this without them.
No.
Both of them are really
Absolutely not.
amazing.
Yeah.
And, we're so thankful.
Okay. Yes, some neighbors of ours recently adopted a cat from you. Their last name is Cannon. I think they.
Oh my goodness, Jackie.
Jackie Cannon. Yes.
Yeah, she's her and her daughter. I can't remember her daughter's name. Oh,
Alicia. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who was it? Do you remember?
She was a Georgia kitty. It was before you joined us.
Okay.
They named her Chia, I think.
Chia.
Yeah, or Chai maybe.
Chai or Chia.
Yeah, but
Okay.
but that kitten was so sick, and they waited for that kitten to get better. Cats quite often get herpes virus. It infects their eyes.
Oh, I
And
see.
almost every cat we get from Georgia has it.
Yep.
And
Really?
they waited for that kitten because that's the one they wanted, and she's doing so great with them. We get updates all the time. They're wonderful people.
Yeah, they really are. We
Yeah.
enjoy having them for neighbors.
Yes.
So.
Well, another one of your neighbors we took a cat from.
Oh, Sandy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that cat just got adopted to a great home. She's
Oh, good.
yeah, she's an
good,
only
good.
cat. She lives in the Hotel Jamestown. It's like she's a therapy cat. That's an
Oh.
apartment building. It's not really a hotel.
Yeah.
But she loves her. They cuddle, and it just worked out so great. And to think someone left that cat behind. Someone moved out and left that cat behind. This cuddly, sweet kitty that for no reason got left outside. So just the fact that she got such a great home, and I never, being from Mayville, if someone from Mayville calls me, I usually won't say no. I mean, you just can't. This is our community.
Right,
Why am I
right.
rescuing cats from Georgia and Jamestown when I live in Mayville and am saying no? So I was so happy to be able to help her.
Yeah. I wonder, does she know that the cat got
No,
adopted?
I asked her.
I'll tell her. Yeah, I'll tell her
I
I
asked her to
found
give me a
that
call in a
out.
couple weeks. And
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
they do, sometimes they don't. But I don't think they wanted to know. I think they really got attached to that cat and they were afraid. But no, it ended well. It ended perfectly.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a therapy cat.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And she's just such a cuddly, sweet cat. They did a great job with saving her. Amazing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, she thought it might be one of my cats, but my cats would not go that far.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that you were talking about a minute ago about people that throw cats out and how mean it is and everything, but there's something even more diabolical that I found out that people do, and that is some people, and I've actually had people say to me that they do it, and it just shocks me that they deliberately try to run over cats when they see them in the road, that they do it on purpose.
That's part of me, but that's a sociopath right there. Sorry.
I don't know what else to say about that. You're a psychiatric nurse, aren't you?
Don't know what else to call a person that does that.
Yeah. I was just talking to somebody on the phone the other day, a psychologist friend of mine, that he was telling me, what kind of disorders certain people have. I'm not going to name any of the names of the people we were talking about, but
there's some. Well, oftentimes there are certain people that feed kittens to snakes.
Yes.
There's a lot.
They feed kittens to snakes?
Yes.
All those free kittens you see online.
All those free kittens that you see online.
You don't know where they're going. There are people out there that get a kick out of watching an animal suffer while it's dying in a snake's coils. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. Again, sociopath.
Yeah.
They'll sit and laugh about it. Oh, look at this, and it's. They do it to rabbits, kittens, anything
guinea
small
pigs,
enough.
Guinea pigs. Yep.
Shall we move along now and have Chris bring up those pictures for us?
Yeah.
Some of the pictures probably by the time this episode airs will no longer be with Jena and Paula, but this is
our rescue. These are the little buildings.
Yeah.
The little rooms set up for the cats. We have 4 separate rooms.
They all have little name tags for them. And my husband we've got little stereo systems or little speakers in the room so they can listen to music.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, some cats actually watch television. I've had cats that actually knew what was going on television.
There is a TV down there. I often keep the Nature Channel on.
Yeah. Well, I exercise with exercise DVDs, and I had a cat that literally kept looking. I knew he knew that there was somebody on television doing what I was doing because I was following it along, and he just kept glancing. He'd look at me and look at the TV, look back. He knew what was going on. He knew there was somebody on the television exercising, and
I think these pictures are from July, so you might see some little 4th of July-ish decorations hanging out.
Oh, okay. It says there, for the best seat in the house, you'll have to move the cat.
That's one of the rooms.
We label all of the doors with the names of the kitties. That way, if someone else, sometimes my husband will take care of the kitties, and that way he can count to make sure all 5 of them are in there.
Oh, okay.
No, that's me.
This is not who you've got with you today, right?
No, that is actually Tevia, that one of our very good friends adopted.
Yeah.
Oh.
She was a little feral kitten off the streets of Jamestown.
Yeah.
Oh.
We trapped her when she was about 3 weeks old, her and her siblings.
Okay.
Thankfully, we found a nice mother cat who took on, we were so lucky this year. We had a mama cat, her kittens were raised. She took on every bottle baby we had.
Yeah.
I mean, so we didn't have to do
amazing.
any bottle feeding this summer.
Wow.
She just got
She
the
just got
perfect home
adopted.
too, so
Yes.
we're thrilled.
Well, I saw something, I think it was on the Animal Planet channel one time, where there was a dog had puppies, I think it was, and the dog wouldn't nurse its babies, but there was a cat that had just finished with a litter of kittens, and she took the babies and nursed the puppies.
Yeah.
So
Cats are amazing.
We have another mama right now that a little tiny baby came in all by himself, and she's nursing, and she took him in too. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I don't think
We love it because
Yes.
anybody that's ever bottle fed babies, it is very labor intensive. I mean, it's nonstop.
It would be very difficult. Yeah. So who is this?
That's Petra.
Petra.
No, I think that's Gatsby. Petra has a little spot.
Nope, you're right. That is
That's
Gatsby. He has been adopted actually,
Yeah,
but
he just got
that's
adopted.
Gatsby.
Yes.
Okay.
Last
Very
few days.
He's a handsome boy.
likes to have his picture taken.
Yes.
I think.
This is Lucia.
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 was
Jenna's
she was
favorite
just
kitty.
adopted, and Lucia was so special to me. She also came from the same Georgia shelter.
Uh-huh.
she is ear-tipped because they never thought that she was going to be tame enough. And oh my word, this is the most snuggliest kitty that I've ever encountered in my life. She just like shoves her face into your face. She's just amazing. I was in love with her. I love all my rescue kitties, but she was very special. So when she was adopted recently, it was very emotional.
It was hard for you to let her go.
It's emotional for all of them, but she was definitely a tough one, but I couldn't be happier. So.
Oh, yeah.
That's Drax. That's him, right? Or
Yeah, I think that's Drax.
That one's Drax. Yep.
Drax?
Yeah.
Drax, yeah.
Yeah. He's one of our FIV kitties.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Drax is right up there, yeah.
Oh, there he is again.
Oh, yeah.
So they have all sorts of stuff in their little rooms to play with and jump on. And
Right.
They're all themed. Those rooms, one of them is named, I'm a huge Winnie the Pooh fan, so one room's called Pooh Corner, the other's Ashdown Forest, the other is the Mermaid Room, and the other is the Boat Room, so they're sort of decorated
Oh, okay.
thematically.
Okay. Now, is this a litter of kittens?
Nope, none of them are all, those are,
that's Marshall.
is that, oh, that's right, that is them.
Which
okay.
one is Marshall?
The Marshall's on the pink thing there.
Oh,
the pink
okay.
blanket.
And they
Okay.
all got adopted
Together.
together. All four of them.
There was-
all
yes.
four siblings were adopted by the same family.
Is one of them black? It looks, I see something black over on the right.
Oh,
that's a different
one,
kitty.
but
That's
it's
just
that
a
orange
different
one
kitty.
And the three
Yeah.
tiger
Oh,
striped
I
ones.
see. They're,
Yeah.
the
A
You
couple-
orange
only
one.
see his tail.
Yep,
Yeah,
a couple
yeah,
adopted
okay.
two of them together, and then a week later they thought about it and like, we want to adopt the other two. So all boys went together. Which is just that's the most we've ever had. We're like, oh my god.
They didn't have any other animals. That was their
Yeah.
first. Their
So
first
that was
companions.
super amazing.
And that's the same ones. I don't know. I can't
think
remember their
that
names.
is, too.
Marshall and it's so hard to remember their names. This is the mama we were talking about that took on all the
Yep.
kittens.
And that's
Oh.
Geneva.
yes.
Geneva and Ariana. Yes, Ariana's the one that nursed
Okay.
everyone. As you can see, one of them is nursing on her right now.
Right,
I think
I
is that
see that.
Ewart?
That is
I
cute.
think that's Ewart. Yeah, I think
We
that,
lost a lot of kittens this
We-
year. It
we
was
did.
tough. It was
Re-
tough.
Really,
yes.
they didn't make it?
Yeah, we have this guy right now. Is this not Castile or?
No, that is Patrick.
Okay.
Patrick.
Patrick.
And
We have
Patrick.
one just that looks just like
Patrick
him
has
right
been
now.
adopted. Yes, we also had a mom come in from Georgia that was pregnant. She was slotted to be euthanized. And she had 5 beautiful baby boys. That's one of her boys. They've all been adopted, and so has she. So
And a
they
lot
were
of
born
these-
in the rescue, which is
Yes.
always an exciting thing to see.
Oh,
So
yeah.
A lot of these adoptions have just happened within
There's
the past couple
Gracie.
weeks too. Is that
That's Gracie.
Yes, we
yes.
still have her.
Yep.
She's a little moody.
Yeah.
She's a moody kid.
Yeah, a little moody.
She needs a human that's just
Yeah.
going to bond with her.
She was another one that was taken, she was found kind of on the streets, and she was taken in at that kind of tender age of, she was over 8 weeks. So, she's a little more difficult to kind of, get into a domestic sense. So she's still very skittish.
She will bond with one person though. We have one volunteer that does come by
Yep.
just to see her. She was going to adopt her, but it
Yep.
fell through. Her apartment wouldn't allow kitties.
Oh, that's
So,
too
but
bad.
she still comes to see her frequently, and she'll go right up to her. So we think
Yeah.
if we have the right home and someone that's willing to just work with the kitty, that, or maybe just let her live in your apartment and just kind of be roommates instead
Yeah.
of best friends.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I have a cat like that. I can't touch her. She's feral.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
She lives in my house, but we have her. She does her thing. I do mine. I feed her. She's happy.
Yeah, the last cat my mother had, you couldn't pet her. You couldn't touch her. So.
We quite often end up with the kitties.
Oh, now that.
yeah, this
Brienne.
Brienne.
This
We
is our
still-
beautiful Brienne. We still have Brienne.
Someone's
Oh,
coming to
she-
meet her
Yeah,
tonight,
so,
though. We're
yeah,
Oh,
catching
somebody's
her.
coming to
tonight.
meet her
Someone's
tonight?
interested.
She
Yeah,
is
she's
adorable.
Isn't she gorgeous?
She was another mama.
Yep, she was another mama that she came in with. She had 4 tiny, tiny little babies that came in with her. None of them survived, though.
Oh, no.
She's perfectly healthy. She's wonderful. There's nothing wrong with her. But her baby, we actually had a necropsy done on the babies, and there were just some genetic deformities.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Oh.
it was heartbreaking. It was
That's
horrible.
what happens to
Yeah.
these cats that are coming off of farms.
Yeah.
They're so
There was no
inbred.
medical care. There was, and our vet even said it was probably a lot of inbreeding cousins, and,
Now this one,
that's Finian. He was recently adopted
Like
too.
last week.
Like just last week, yep.
Updated
His
pictures.
eyes,
Isn't he
his
handsome?
expression.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
so handsome.
Yeah.
He was with us for so long too. He was born in the rescue, but
he was the
stayed with
last
us.
of Kylie's babies
Yeah.
to be adopted. Yep. They were all born the day before St. Patrick's Day, so they all got Irish names.
Oh, that's why the name is
Patrick, Finian.
Is this Beatrice? I
That
think this
is-
Beatrice.
I'm pretty sure that's
I'm not sure if that's Beatrice. Is that Beatrice or,
It's gotta
or is
be.
that Lucia?
Lucia had an orange spot on her
Oh, that's
head.
right. I think
And
that
there's
is
no ear tip.
Beatrice.
That's gotta be
That is
Beatrice.
Beatrice.
We still have Beatrice.
And we still have Beatrice.
Beatrice
yeah.
has a genetic condition from an inbreeding issue.
Yeah.
Her lungs are very small, and she's got a very small rib cage. So she's not going to be a real active cat, but as long as she's kept calm and she's not living outdoors, she should have a normal life.
Something Pectus avocatum or something. It was just the malformation.
Her
name
ribs
or
are
something.
concave
Yeah.
instead of out.
Instead of shaped the way that they should.
So it prevented the lungs from fully developing
Yes.
then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And-
like we said, there's really nothing else wrong with her. She's just going to be a little more susceptible to some
That looks
respiratory
like
stuff.
a tough guy with attitude.
Is that
That's
Virginia?
That's Virginia.
Oh, it's not a boy?
No, that's Virginia.
I
I
thought
can
I
see
was-
where y'all can see that though. Yeah,
it just looks like somebody with an
it does.
attitude.
That's Virginia. Yep.
You are covered in hair.
Oh.
Oh,
I don't know who that is.
I'm.
We get so many
That
kids.
was Charles or Howard.
Howard was all orange with white feet.
I think that
so
was
it's
Charles. That's Charles.
Charles.
Yeah. And he's been adopted. Yep.
Each of our cats has an original name. We never reuse names.
Oh, okay.
So, but sometimes it's hard for me to remember their names. Jenna always remembers.
I'm
their names.
usually
I forget my own name sometimes. So
And these guys have been adopted as just part
they
of
were
the
part of the four.
part
that
of the
went
Marshall.
together.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, they were really looking right at the camera, weren't they?
There they
I
are
love
again.
that picture.
Is that the same
That's
form?
the same four. Yeah.
Well, that orange one has a white face.
Oh, maybe it'd be through.
I think that
Charles in
that
there,
was
yeah.
Charles was in there.
But yeah, this was a whole little photo shoot at my house. With my sister brought all her equipment, and my nieces were there, so it was like a whole family event.
Yeah, whoever takes these pictures.
Yeah, she's my sister's name is Rachel Carnes of Rachel Carnes Photography. She lives in Philly, but yeah, she's wonderful. So this is all her work. Yeah.
This
Now-
is Raiden. Raiden's still available.
No, that's Cody.
Is that Cody?
That's
Okay.
Cody, yep.
We have
Yeah,
several black kitties.
one of the cats that I have now is a short-haired black cat. And part of the reason that I picked her was she looked like, from the Thrifty Kitty, was she looked like some short-haired black cats we'd had when we were a lot younger. And that was part of the reason. And the other part of the reason was that was that she was the one that hovered around me the most when I came in to pick a couple of cats. And the other cat that I picked out had medium. Oh, he is a really tall cat. The other one that I picked with medium length hair and a tail that is about 1.5 feet long, you know. So,
Well, a lot
Ve-
of people
very-
don't pick black cats, and
well,
that's
you know,
what's
And they're my
horrible.
favorite.
Somebody
love
said
black
that
cats.
to me. Somebody that I ran into the grocery store one time after she'd come back from Westfield on a Saturday from working, from volunteering. She said she goes over and brushes the cats. And she was telling me that I told her that the two that I'd adopted from there were both black cats. And she was real happy to hear that I'd picked black cats. She said they have trouble getting the black ones adopted out.
It's true. We have several black kitties right now. We're actually thinking about doing a Black Cat Friday somewhere around Black Friday in November to kind of go in with the theme, and we're going to try to promote adopting a black kitty. Because we have a lot of black kitties.
Yeah. Or do it for Halloween or something.
I don't like doing it for
You don't like
Halloween
doing it
because
for-
sometimes people don't treat black kitties as kindly during the Halloween season, and they think of them more as a prop, shall we say.
Yeah,
So,
the thing about people not adopting black cats. Do you think it has to do with that superstition?
I do, and I
Do
think
you?
people find them uninteresting, which I don't get whatsoever. Yeah.
Well, personality-wise, these cats that we've got are interesting.
Right.
I have never met a cat that was not interesting. And, but every one of them is different. No two have the same personality. They're just like us people.
Exactly.
They all each have their own personalities.
And the siblings, it's amazing. We've got some siblings that are just snuggle, 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 and other ones that you can't even touch. It's I mean, look at Linda.
Oh, yeah.
And the other siblings,
Yeah. I wonder if he's got any more going there or not. He said he didn't
Is that you?
scan. Do you have any more, Chris? No? Okay. We're finished with the pictures then. Now, you ladies are not just a cat shelter, but you are with the animal rights movement in general, and you only eat plant-based foods.
Yes, we are ethical vegans.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. Like, I do not buy leather shoes anymore, you know.
Good. Glad to hear it.
You know, so you can see I'm wearing cotton canvas kids.
They make a lot of man-made shoes that look leather. If you want to wear leather, get man-made leather.
Yeah.
But sometimes you forget those little things. You know, I like thrift store shopping. Sometimes like, oh, these shoes are so cool, and I'm like, oh, they're leather. You know, but it takes. I'm much better at it. I have not. Jenna's been vegan for almost 30 years.
I've been
Almost 30?
I've been vegan for 20, and I was vegetarian for 10 years before. So
Yeah,
it's been a long time. Yeah.
I was vegetarian starting at age 25, meatless.
I was 16.
And then when I was told that I had a serious health problem, I cured myself by going vegan. You know, and
Bless you.
instead of doing what the medical profession
awesome.
wanted me to do. But and you know, I always have been kind of an empathetic person towards animals too. You know, I don't like to see bad things happen to them.
It's a huge part of our life. I mean, we incorporate that philosophy obviously into the rescue. We want people to realize that we're not specious. We don't differentiate between a cat and a pig and a dog and a cow or a boy or a girl. They're all equal. The suffering does not discriminate between species.
Right.
And it's so incredible how many people are so disconnected from that. Like, you know, you'll see these posts on Facebook. Oh my gosh, they eat dogs in China. Well, you're eating a hot dog. I mean, do you think that pig did not feel the same pain those dogs did? And you just, well, their pigs are different. No, they're not. All animals feel pain, and all animals can suffer.
Yeah, they really do. I can only imagine what it must be like, you know, like with the factory farms and like that. You know, I just happen to, I usually don't buy magazines, you know, but I ran across a magazine. I'm kind of surprised. I've run across a couple of vegan magazines a couple times this year, believe it or not, in the Tops grocery store in Mayville. And I picked up this one the other day called Veg News. And I kind of glanced through it real quick, and I saw that everything about it was vegan. And I saw that there was an article about the 20 most influential vegans of 2019, and one of them is that Greta Thunberg, that 16-year-old girl from Sweden who is a climate change activist. And she is very much against the factory farms, and would like to see them all get shut down. And
So would we.
She was,
So would we.
Yeah.
She was actually just at a sanctuary this weekend in Canada. It's called Happily Ever Esther Farms. It's about, do you know of Esther, the Wonder Pig?
No, I guess I don't.
she's
As a couple
amazing.
gentlemen, they got a pig as a companion. They were not vegans at the time. They were told that she was going to be a mini pig. She was a hog, like, you know, a big, huge pig. But they love her so much. She lives in their house. And they loved that pig so much that they became vegan. They started a sanctuary for farm animals. And they are just, I mean, incredible what they did. And they have taken some of our bunnies that were behavioral, because they are truly a sanctuary there. Nothing leave. It doesn't. Their animals don't get adopted like ours do. And we had some
the
bunnies,
animals go there to live
out their lives.
Yeah.
But Greta was there this weekend, and they were taking pictures, and I thought it was photoshopped. I'm like, she's there from Sweden, because it's not that far from us, about 4 hours. But it was pretty amazing that she came to see Esther the Wonder Pig. She said she was one of her favorite, you know, they were one of her favorite
rescues, influences.
Influences, yes. Yeah.
They're on Facebook.
Yeah, Esther the Wonder Pig.
Esther the Wonder Pig. Yeah.
And it's just an amazing how much love for an animal can turn someone from eating them to living with them. They have a turkey that lives in their house too.
Yeah.
And they do a vegan cooking show. So
I had Marcy Zastro on here back in the spring. She lives in Buffalo, and she's what's known as a vegan educator. She'd taken a special class that she'd gone to in New York City and so forth. And so anyways, she was talking about sewing diapers for chickens, for rescued chickens.
Penelope, my friend Vanessa, runs a chicken sanctuary in Buffalo. It's called Penelope's Place, and
I think that's
that could even
one.
be it. But
I
she
think that's the one.
does it. You know, gets people to help sew diapers for the chickens.
Yeah. So. That's a lot of fun. There's rescue farm animal sanctuary in the Watkins Glen area.
They were. I've been there. I can't even count how many times. They were actually highly instrumental in me making my transition from vegetarian to veganism. Was Farm Sanctuary. So they're wonderful there. That's like the happiest place on earth.
There's one not too far from here either, about 2 hours.
Asha Sanctuary.
Yeah, that's another one that Marcy was talking about.
Tracy Murphy founded that.
Yeah. We do a lot of the this year we actually went to Veg Fest as a vendor with our rescue, but we go to a lot of events like that. It's hard to find other people that believe in the same things you do, you know, and it's just nice to be in a group of people where you don't have to be judged because you're different. So
I said, I do a lot of activism, peaceful protests by, everything's completely nonviolent, of course. But we recently did one outside of a meat raffle. Which, I mean, number one, I'll say it disgusts us when we see an animal rescue doing a meat raffle. So you're exploiting another animal's body to benefit another animal. It makes no sense to us whatsoever.
This meat raffle was to benefit a cat or dog?
Yes. No, this particular one that I was protesting wasn't, but we see them often. A lot of rescues will put them on Facebook, meat raffle to benefit our such kitties. And such rescue. And it just blows our minds. But,
like at the county fairs, where they have all those animals, I guess those farm animals, the 4-H kids have raised, and they bring them in and everything. And I think what they do is auction those animals off for meat and like that. And there was, in the newspaper, I saw an article one time, I think it was after one of the Western New York fairs, where they were going to auction off a certain cow and take the proceeds and donate it to that Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Foundation. And I'm going, well, that doesn't make sense because...
It's blood money.
Because to begin with, one thing that it does is even people that are, if they're eating meat and dairy products, they're increasing their risk of getting cancer.
Susan G. Komen's obviously a cancer research. Why would you introduce basically a carcinogenic food into that equation? Right.
And it was some things just
They just don't
really,
make sense.
really annoy me.
Yes,
That
us
a lot
too.
of the things that people do. Do you have a psychiatric diagnosis for people who think like that?
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
That's really all I can say is
Disconnected.
completely disconnected.
Completely disconnected. Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, you've got some brochures here that you give to people. Let's see. This one is about.
That just explains our rescue, just how we came to be and what we do.
Okay.
The other one is, as it says, it's just compassionate choices. It's from an organization called Vegan Outreach. We include them in all our adoption packets. We have them available for people at our events. You know, we don't shove it in their face. It's just there. There's nothing graphic in it whatsoever. It just gently tells you the realities of farming and what actually happens to animals. There's no graphic pictures, but it just gives a general idea of how you can make small changes and transition into a more compassionate way of living. So.
And the funny thing about these, we have a few people that do volunteer with us who were not vegetarian or vegan. There's actually 3 of them now.
Yep.
That just from looking through that pamphlet, they're like, you know, one girl's like, I'm going to try to be vegetarian. Well, a couple weeks ago, she says, I'm vegan now. I'm not ever touching an animal product again. I mean, we didn't push her into that.
Like, we just want to cry. We're just like so happy.
She just kind of realized, you know, maybe you're right. Maybe I love my kitty so much, but maybe that mama cow loves her calf too.
And they do. Have you ever heard a mama cow cry when her baby's ripped away? It's
Yeah.
the most heartbreaking thing you will ever hear in your life.
Yeah. Well, you know. The milk that people are drinking from cows has come from a cow that never got to suckle off of
Exactly.
its mother.
Precisely.
Right. I mean, right now that is what they're doing. They're feeding some supplemental something or the
Exactly.
other to the calves.
so that we can have them
They will even put
So
a
that-
device around the calves' nose and mouth that's got little spikes on it, so she can't get to her mother to suckle. It's so cruel. It's so cruel. So.
And the little male calves, you know what happens to them. If they grow them out for veal, if not, sometimes they just kill them for no reason.
They just throw them away like trash. Yeah.
Well, I have seen video footage of things going on in factory farms and slaughterhouses and things, and it honestly feels like they're people that are being tortured.
It is.
You know, it's horrible. Did you ever see the one that Paul McCartney did for PETA? It's called Glass Walls.
I don't think I saw that.
I don't think I have either.
It's just, 5 or 10 minutes
Yeah.
long, but it's where he says that if slaughterhouses had glass walls, we'd all be vegetarian.
It's true.
And, for a video that isn't very long, it's very,
it's hard to watch.
It's
They're
hard to
very
watch.
hard to
It's hard to
watch.
watch. You want to run and grab those animals up and hug them and rescue them and just grab them away from the people that are torturing them. It's like when you see cows and pigs in these videos hanging upside down, it's like those are people.
It's torture.
Yeah.
Those are people.
It's torture, yeah.
Another
form of activism actually brought her to her first one is I'm part of Anonymous for the Voiceless. And what we do is we form a cube, we wear a mask, but we show footage of slaughterhouses and factory farming. We hold computers and we do it when there's foot traffic on public property. It's very peaceful. If people approach us and want to ask us questions, there's always someone available to do it. But that's all we do is we stand there silently and simply show people footage. And many people come by and their jaws drop. They'll come by and they'll stop bawling their eyes out. It's extremely powerful, and it definitely elicits some people to change. It's as difficult as it is to watch. I mean, the shock value of it really does show people the horrible realities. So.
Not only that, but not only is it pretty horrific, but you know, those animals with the factory farms and like that, the living conditions are so.
And it's not just the factory farms. You know, I know a lot of farmers love their animals. I'm not saying that they don't, but at the same time, there's nothing humane about killing an animal that doesn't want to die. So I guess we just feel strongly that farming I mean, just because it's not a factory farm and it's just a farm doesn't mean that animal's still not suffering. But you're absolutely right, though. The factory farm environment in and of itself is atrocious.
Yeah,
there's no room to move. These pigs are stuck
it's
in
overcrowded.
Station crates.
It's unsanitary.
Right.
And most of those animals are actually sick.
Exactly.
You know,
I mean, they're eating that.
And people, when people are eating meat, they are eating animals that were not healthy.
Right.
So how does they
cancer
figure that that's going to make them healthy? And then another thing is, as soon as an animal is killed, its body starts to decompose right away. The decomposition, the process of decomposition in plants is not really fast like that, but it is with animals. And anytime a person eats meat, they're eating rotting dead flesh.
One of my favorite little cartoony things, if I can remember it right, it's a little cartoon, and a woman is calling over the waiter and saying, "There's a hair in my burger." And the waiter's like, "You do know there's a bunch of blood and guts and veins in that burger too, you know?" It's just kind of funny. Like, you're worried about a hair and this is what you're consuming? It's like,
and you're worried about a hair off of somebody's, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny. Puts it into perspective,
Yeah, it's the same thing like people being out on a picnic and complaining about the ants and the flies that land on the
Right.
land on
you
the
got
food.
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You've also got another pamphlet back here, one that they can get from you about
that is from Cornell. Cornell Feline. I'm not sure. Feline Health Center, as you know, is renowned for being like most up to date, just really good stuff. Yeah. It's all about the feline AIDS virus. So we wanted to be able to hand people information about it that they can maybe take home and read if they're interested in one of our guys. But we really are just trying to raise awareness that it's not a death sentence, you know. And many people even have FIV affected kitties live in their homes alongside non-FIV.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, yeah. Several people do.
Without them getting
like I said, you've really got
to
get a significant bite to transmit it. And if your kitties all get along, there's really no risk. Mm-hmm. So
I would bring one home.
They more likely to scratch than bite,
right.
I think. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, we've got about 5 minutes left. Now, why should people not declaw cats?
Do you want to take this one?
Well, I don't think any of us wants their fingers pulled out of their sockets. That's pretty much what they do to declaw cats.
Yeah, they take off. Yeah. It's an amputation.
It's an amputation.
It would be like if somebody took us and cut all of our fingers off down to here.
Exactly. Yeah, it's cruel. It leaves them with significant pain. Open to lots of infection. Most of all, it just leaves them with usually lifelong pain.
Yes.
Litter gets all stuck in there, and again helps flame up that infection even more. It's just cruel and unnecessary.
Another thing that I've heard about it too is scratching or sharpening their claws or whatever you call what they're doing. Causes them to, it causes exercise to happen to the muscles.
Yeah, it's normal for them. And oftentimes
back.
It keeps it so you don't even have to trim their nails half the time, because when they're, using their scratch pad or whatever, they're getting all that, they're giving themselves a little manicure per se. Mm-hmm. So, yes, we're very adamant, right, on our adoption contract that you are not ever permitted to declaw any of our kitties. It is illegal, I'm sure, as you know, in New York State now. But obviously the PA's right next door, and we do a lot within, the PA community. So we do have to remind people of that. Our vets, many vets, would not do it even before it became illegal.
Oh, yeah.
But we just have to make sure we mention that to people, because we don't ever want any kitty to have to go through that.
No.
Our vet won't, if she knows the cat came from us, well, she can't now, but she would not she knew it was on our contract. She would not declaw them.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to the subject of trapping and neutering and vaccinating feral cats and then releasing them out into the wild. Now, tell the viewing audience why if you have a feral cat hanging around your property, why you should have it trapped and neutered or spayed and
that, Paula.
vaccinated.
The main reason is every cat that's out there that's not fixed is producing 100 kittens in their lifetime. And the suffering that happens to these kittens is just immense. Only 25% of kittens born in the wild survive.
Yep.
But the other reason that, people are like, come get this cat and don't bring it back. You can't do that, because what will happen if that cat has that area, that cat's going to control that area. If that cat, especially if it's like the dominant male cat, moves out, someone else is going to move in. So I can come remove your cats all day and do whatever you want, but more are just going to keep coming. There's a food source there, whether it's you feeding them, whether it's birds or wildlife, cats are going to keep coming back. The only way to control the feral cat population is to fix them. And people will be like, oh, but we can't afford it. Would you rather pay $50 to fix one cat, or would you rather feed 100 kittens? Because that's what's going to happen, and then each one of those kittens is going to have 100 kittens of their own. And it's unbelievable the amount of feral and stray cats we have in this area. And it's just increased the past several years. But Jamestown, we have one street in Jamestown that we've counted over 100 stray cats on. And these are cats that people probably got free on Craigslist or Facebook, and then never fixed them. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get this free kitten. Why am I going to pay you guys $100? Because our kittens are vaccinated, they're fixed, they're tested, and they've been dewormed and defleed. And that's going to cost you $300 at the veterinarian. Right. So we ask for a $100 adoption fee, but you don't have to worry about all that stuff. You can go get your free cat on Craigslist. Are you going to take care of it? Or when it goes in heat, are you going to throw it out the door? Or when it's a male and it starts spraying, you're going to throw it out the door. It's infuriating. And these people that move out and leave their animals behind, it never makes sense.
Well, another thing with the vaccinations is the fact that it's not safe for an unvaccinated feral cat to be on the loose anyway, because if they're not vaccinated, they can get rabies.
Yep, right. Absolutely.
And then wind up biting people.
Yep, exactly. And living out in a wild environment, they are going to be territorial. Yep. They have to protect themselves, so they are going to be more apt to bite if they're threatened,
Just fix your cat.
Please get your cat spayed and neutered, if nothing else. Please.
And get these feral cats vaccinated so they're not spreading things like rabies around.
Which happened in Chautauqua County this year. There was a case in Jamestown. So, it's scary.
Well, thank you again for coming
so
on.
much.
Unfortunately, we've come to the end of another episode of Fresh Perspectives. And I'll see the rest of you in the viewing audience on the next episode in a couple of weeks.